Welcome to the Mortgage Warrior podcast featuring Steve Dostal. Host Darryl Smart chats with the Mortgage Warrior about his no BS approach to financing. That will be sprinkled in with conversations with other people in the business and around the community. So without further ado, here he is, the Mortgage Warrior, Steve Dostal.
What is up, everyone? Darryl Smart, good buddy Steve the Mortgage Warrior Dostal. Steve, I almost brought a dozen donuts today. You know what? This is number 12. This is episode number 12. I almost brought a dozen donuts for everybody, just because. But as usual, I'm rushing around.
Well, we're a little chunky. We don't think we need any more donuts. So.
No, I had some. I actually had someone ask me the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. I was teaching a class, and they were like, "You need a donut." Like, no, I don't. Look at me. Not this.
Well, one of my favorite things when I used to wrestle is like when people used to yell at me, and I would have another donut, Tubby, right? And then they would get all like, "Oh my god!" and I'd do the fake punch and whatever else. But episode 12, and we've moved.
We've moved. Look at the digs. I like. You know what? Look at this. I like this. This looks good. Hold it just a second. I gotta tuck in a little bit.
We've made a move from downtown to the North End, and we are on 2 Holiday Drive at the Sutton Team Realty office, and with my good friend and broker, not my broker, but broker for Sutton Team Realty, is Martin Sarkissian.
Hello.
So Martin and I go back a long time. When I first started 18 years ago, Martin was a young and up and coming realtor, broker.
Yeah.
That was basically thought outside of the box compared to what the other brokerages were doing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So him and I have had a working relationship for about 18 years, and a bunch of his realtors in the office. Some love me, some don't. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, you can't please everybody.
What it usually is.
Hard to do. Yeah.
Hard to do, but yeah, I mean, Martin and I have been working together for a long time, and it was a good fit to kind of, join in his office. I mean, The price was right. I mean, I can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
But being downtown, I had too much space, and we liquidated it. So
I sold it.
Yeah, well, Martin
Sold the building.
Martin actually sold
Went
it
through
for me.
quite a few realtors before, and made it happen.
It really wasn't something that I thought was going to happen because I've had 4 other realtors and nobody would bite on it, and Martin sold it. So here we are.
In a down market.
Nice.
In a down market.
In a down market. Yes. So first of all,
easy. I'm the house hustler.
The house hustler. First, Martin, a little bit about yourself. You know what? We're sitting here talking, and you know what? You've been around for a while, and it's one that for yourself. What's it like to have this guy in your office? First of all, it's got to be a lot of fun.
It's a little scary because again, not everybody has a favorite mortgage broker, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different thing, and not a lot of offices have in-house mortgage brokers. Some of them do, or some of them they rotate them over time, right?
Yeah.
So, but like I said earlier, you can't please everybody, right? But typically, we work with somebody that can get the deal done, and Steve's one of those guys. He's upfront and honest. If he can't do it upfront, he says it. Look, I can't do it. But he tries. Sometimes he tries. And actually, a lot of time you try.
I always try.
You always try.
I like to get paid.
Sometimes, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. Or a lender isn't available, or something happens with some information, or something changes, right? And then the deals don't happen.
So what are some of the qualities that you do like about Steve and having him on board with you? And you touched on a couple of them, but
he responds right away.
Yeah.
He's there when you need him, and he's honest and upfront, and he tells you like it is. No smoke and no mirrors, just real good business.
So what do we call that? The no BS.
The no BS. You're the no BS Mortgage Warrior podcast.
Yeah.
That's a long title, man.
Yeah, but I don't want to call it that.
Yeah,
I'm just a mortgage warrior. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to is
it's a catchphrase for you, almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really want to be known as somebody that can't get the deal done.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good team here, Anya and Victoria, and I guess the best part about us is being in house is that already I've had lots of agents come and have conversations with me, asking me certain questions that if I wasn't here, they would go to the wayside. They would forget about it, but I'm always in their head now, right? Meaning that, hey, I'm here, Martin's brought me in, we've agreed to, what we've agreed to, and at the end of the day, it's a marriage that we're just started. right?
Yeah.
Being together versus being apart. So, as my late father used to say, you got to try on the shoe before you wear it.
Exactly.
So,
and especially in this climate, where whether it be mortgages or finances or real estate, I think having a relationship like this is very important, especially now, don't you think, Martin?
Yeah, it is. The market is crazy, and it's really in flux, and nobody knows really which way it's going. And it's good to have Steve, like you said earlier, he's in house. An agent can drop in, pop a question by Steve, and get a quick answer.
So it's a matter of really putting all your heads together, and Steve talks about it all the time, and just having different people and just bouncing ideas off each other, really.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a huge advantage to having Steve here, right?
Yeah. Mortgages are part of the real estate deal, just
And
as much as an inspection.
And it's kind of vice versa with you as well. You're able to bounce ideas off of them, right?
yeah, absolutely. I think again, we're boiling down to here is just we kind of have a one-stop shop, right?
Yeah.
We have the real estate brokerage, we have the mortgage brokerage, and my son has the insurance broker.
Yep.
So we all financial needs, insurance, investments, life insurance, and then we have the real estate side, where if you're going to buy real estate, you should have life insurance on that, because that's your biggest purchase. You should be insuring that, right? And then with the mortgages aspect of it, where we have the private, we have the regular, we have the B, right? We have, again, the one-stop shop thing is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm glad I've partnered up with Martin here.
So how's the move? That was the big thing, because I texted you last week, and all I got back was, "I'm moving today. I'm moving." It sounded like it was a pretty quick process and pretty big whirlwind.
The problem is that when you move any brokerage, you have to still be running while you're moving, right? Because again, if you don't answer the email or answer the call, they will call the next person in line. So what we had to do is I brought all my stuff on day one, and then we brought everybody else's stuff on day two. So when you kind of figure out with all the moving and all the hustling of the business, but then also trying to get all your files and get all your computers and making sure the internet's up and running, which I'm grateful with Martin having everything all ready to set and go.
That's a sweet server, by the way.
Yes, thank you. My friend Ken Dobson set that up for me.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, he's amazing. But Steve made the move look easy.
Really?
Yeah, it was the smoothest move I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, it was so cool. It was like in one day, not here one day.
You've been kind of preparing for this, even though you didn't know what was going to happen immediately. You'd been talking about this for a while. Off camera.
Yeah, and the only thing I really had to move was a desk and a filing cabinet. Right, Martin already had desks in there, which I'm grateful again for allowing us to use them. But yeah, you have to be. I'm not really gracious, I could walk through a china shop and I can like a bull in there and I'm hitting everything. But when it comes to moving, I'm pretty quick because bigger guy, you can move things easier.
Yeah.
But I hired a moving company because I'm at that age now where the knee replacement, I don't want to be lifting anything heavy. And they came in and I showed them what they needed to do, and boom, they were in and out within 2 hours. So easy. Yeah, that's exactly why it looks so easy, Martin. He gave me a nice compliment, but now he took it back. So. But that's okay, though.
You managed it.
We managed it, and at the end of the day, we didn't disturb anybody that was already here.
Yeah.
So, which is important too.
And did you get any of those guys, the movers, any mortgages or anything?
No, unfortunately, no.
Just some donuts, maybe.
I give them $20 each for their hour. I give them $25 each for their hour of moving. So whatever. Yeah. I mean, on top of the $500 they charge me, right? So, anyways, it is what it is with that stuff. It was a last minute kind of. We finally, they waived conditions, and then once they waived conditions, it was like literally 5 days later. Yeah. Right, I'm moving out. So.
Man, and on top of that, you were going on a trip, so it was just kind of one giant tornado.
Yeah, the scouting trip. That's another podcast that we could talk about real estate over there, which I thought was very interesting. But we can come back to that on the next podcast. So.
And Martin, we'll talk a little bit about you and what you've built here, what you've helped build here. So let's go back a little bit of history. How did it all start for you?
Just started.
It's a hard-hitting question.
Yeah. I've always been independent, and I've always been like a manager for different outfits that I work for. And moving down from Toronto here, I was starting a new life with my wife and kids, and needed some job locally that I could be myself without spending a lot of money to set it up, like a new business and all that stuff, right? Like a bricks and mortar shop. So I started selling real estate, and then that just involved to starting up a little brokerage and going from there.
So how long have you been in the game?
About 15 years.
15 years, wow.
Yeah, had some really good agents here, and still have a lot of good agents here, and it's a great business. I wish I would have started a long time ago in my early 20s when I was looking at setting up real estate, but my wife, or my mom at the time, said, I still have the same mom, but my mom, she talked me out of it. She said, no, you're not going to do well. You're going to starve to death. It's a tough business. It's all commission and yada, yada, yada. So I listened to her. But now I've been in it 15 years and I haven't looked back. It's great.
Nice. And you know what though, parents, and I'm in the same boat. They have no idea what I do, and it's one of those things where commission for that other generation is so different compared to us, and probably for you. You had those questions as well, probably when you quit your job at a factory. You know what I mean? And I know my mom kept on saying, oh, "What are you doing? How do
You want
make money?"
security?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they grew up in the wartime era.
Yeah.
And they're afraid of, certain things.
Well, I think the days are over. Well,
Yeah.
clearly they're over. Like my father worked at the same place for 47 years at Snowball
Yeah.
Paper Products. My grandfather worked there for 43 years. All of his brothers, all my great uncles, all worked there like 40 years plus. Right? My brother worked there. My uncle Jim worked there. I worked there.
Yeah.
Right? Like we put in a lot of years in that place, and my dad wanted me to be a millwright like him, but I'm like, I can't handle this stuff. This is, I don't want to be working with my hands and getting all. It was grunt work.
Poisonous.
It was grunt work, and anyways, I chose a different path, and here I am today. So.
Well, so how long have you been with Sutton, or how long has the Sutton team been around? I know we talk about teams a lot, and you were first an independent, and now you've kind of grown into a team. How did that kind of evolve for you?
Yeah, it's just a national franchise name and need a national, well-recognized brand to attract more agents.
Okay.
Previous, I was with Acme Realty, which is a silly name, just generic, right? But not the franchise model. But I picked up Sutton because they weren't in town. They were in town previous with Ed Doucette, but he flipped that into Century 21, I think. But no, Sutton's a national franchise, and it's Canadian, born and raised, and yeah, they do a good job. They treat me well. It's been 11 years with the Sutton franchise.
And how many people do you have in the building now with you
There's
as part of your team?
44 agents, and with admins and everything, we're about 50 people total.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
pretty good.
That's crazy.
We do a lot of business.
Did you ever think when you just first started it would grow into something like that?
I had some ideas how to grow it, but the way it is now, I didn't, the size, no, I didn't think. And just the level of people that are working here, I'm really ecstatic with. That's the most important thing. It's just surrounded with amazing people.
Well, and I know Steve talks about that all the time, about just collaborating with people and finding the right people to work alongside.
Yeah.
Is that something that you, when someone says, hey, I want to join your team, is that something, or a part of your criteria? Is that just being a good person?
I don't blow smoke, and I don't make false promises when I'm bringing anybody over, and I'm up front. And like I used to sell stocks on the stock exchange, and you know what? It's a brutal business. It's like you either work hard to get results, and nothing's handed to you, and that's sales in general, right? Even for doing mortgages, it's like nothing is handed to you. If something's handed to you, there's a price to it, and there's a cost to it, and there's a string. So I just lay it on the line, and that's how it is. And I'll help out as much as I can for the agents and see them through and teach them to be successful for themselves. Yeah. And that's the proper way, I think, to do business, to teach for a good salesperson to go on, because everybody has different limits. I have a certain capacity of what I can sell, what I can do based on my personal life and that kind of thing, and everybody else is different too, right? I had some agents here that can work 20 hours a day and do so much business and run around, all this stuff, and it's like I crash at a certain level, and everybody has a different level of their work. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think when you partner up with a brokerage, you're taking a chance.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've been doing this such a long time. I have a lot of repeat business. I have a lot of, I have a huge database now of 18 years of doing this. So at the end of the day, let's make some good business together and help out your agents and vice versa.
Well, welcome here.
Welcome.
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 Thank you.
Hi, buddy.
It's great to meet you.
All right. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
I guess we've got episode 12 wrapped up already. It didn't feel like it was that long, actually, that we've been doing this.
No, honestly, I'm happy with it, and
Yeah.
let's just continue the ride.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in for episode 12. Make sure if you want to listen or watch any of those other episodes on FM, Spotify, YouTube.
My mom says I have a face for radio.
For the Mortgage Warrior, I'm Darryl Smart. Martin, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next episode.